to make sure that we're really ready to go. And we have a standing policy in the company that anybody can raise an issue. Anybody can raise a risk. We have systems in place that actually allow anybody in the company to open a risk, what we call risk tickets, to open up an issue, to say, okay, I'm worried about something. And they have a direct line to senior leadership to say, hey, I'm worried about this, up to the moment of launch. Bottom line is it's tough, but we won't launch until we're ready. And we will listen to the data and we'll listen to the people.
And our final question will be from Joey Roulette at Reuters. Joey?
Hey, thanks so much for doing this. This is for Kirk Shireman or anyone else. Kirk, you mentioned the role international partners played. I was wondering if you could give some examples of the response and any concerns raised by those international partners, specifically Roscosmos, in regard to this review. And then for Benji Reed, will any data from this mission inform Starship design or Starship missions in the future? And would Starship ever do any test flights like this one to the space station? Thanks.
From an international partner standpoint, it's really interesting. One is we're a partnership, and we expect all our partners, astronauts and cosmonauts, to fly on these vehicles, on the SpaceX vehicle. So they have a very vested interest. In this particular test flight, there are no international partners. But the very next flight, there will be. And so all the international partners were participating along the way because they know that their crew members will be flying on this vehicle, number one. Number two is it's docking to the International Space Station, and all those countries have made huge investments in that vehicle. We want to make sure that we're not risking the investment in that vehicle up there, or, by the way, their crew members who are living on board the International Space Station. So all along, very, very interested. The difficulties here, one, of course, I talked a little bit about time zones. That's always a difficulty. But we also had export control. So when we develop a vehicle here in the United States, all that technology is not allowed to be exported from the United States. So we have to live within those laws. And finally, there's proprietary data. So if the data was allowed to be exported, but it was SpaceX proprietary, then we would have to redact that data. So we conducted these discussions with our international partners along the way, answered their questions, assured them that their crew members would be safe, all the while meeting the U.S. laws on export control and honoring the proprietary data from SpaceX. So the fact that we did that and all the partners were part of this review, were part of all this work, and we're ready to proceed is really really an amazing thing. So we're very, very happy about that aspect. Benji?
Sure. And just kind of following up real quick first on what Kirk said, it's exciting for us to get to work with international partners as well. We've had that opportunity on the cargo program. Again, they jointly run the space station and are partners in that. So coming up and bringing cargo, we had to work with them. And getting to work with the partners and work with all kinds of people around the world is exactly what we want to do. We want to send all kinds of people to space. And ultimately, this mission coming up and everything we're doing is to open that new chapter in the space age. And ultimately make life multiplanetary. That's what we want to do, and it's exciting to do it and see after this mission, what more missions we'll be doing with the space station and with others. In terms of the data, will this inform data on Starship or other programs? Absolutely. Data is data, and we love it. We love data. We want to learn. We want to learn from everything we do and apply it wherever we can to be safer, to be more reliable, to be more efficient. And again,
all the risks, and it was unanimous on the board that we are go for launch. It is really exciting to be launching American astronauts on American rockets for American soil from Kennedy Space Center for the first time in 9 years. I know it's been a long, really challenging road, and I just cannot tell you how proud I am of the NASA SpaceX team for all their talent, hard work, dedication, and perseverance to get to this point. Incredibly exciting and hard to believe it. So yeah, we want you to join us. Most of you virtually, unfortunately, given the situation. 27th at 4:33 p.m. When we're going to send Bob to Doug to the International Space Station and dock 19 hours later, and they will become part of the next ISS expedition. So with that, we'll conclude the press conference.
Cassidy wrote to you from the station about seeing you and Bob in the coming days. What else did he say in that email? Is he looking forward to you guys going on the station? And for Bob, I was wondering if you could tell us about how it felt to fly over to Kennedy Space Center. What did you guys talk about while you were on that flight? Thanks so much.
As far as the email from Chris, I probably would be doing him a disservice if I divulged everything he said in his email to us. But he is, I think, very much, and knowing Chris, as both Bob and I know him pretty well, he likes solitude, but it was very obvious that he is ready for some human interaction with us. As far as in the U.S. segment, obviously he's got his 2 Russian crewmates. But I think he's looking very much forward to us coming up there and at least trying to help him out some.
As far as our arrival goes, I think Doug and I were both extremely excited to return to the Kennedy Space Center and get a chance to fly around the facility a little bit. We didn't land immediately. There are always timing issues that people are trying to have as a consideration as you come in for an event like that. So we did get a chance to make a little bit of a tour of the local area rather than doing a full